Hey there! Welcome to another episode of Star Wars Minute. It's the daily show where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate solo a Star Wars story 1 minute at a time. I'm Alex Robinson from alexrobinson.fun.
I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.fun.
And I am Tony Consiglio from StarWarsMinute.com/Toco.
Hey.
Good job.
Good. See, look at that. I remember.
All those hours of rehearsal.
Hopefully it takes it somewhere.
I hope. Of course, now the site's going to be broken when somebody tries to go. So that's always what happens. You say it, and then I screw it up somehow in the background. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, everybody.
Yes. Sure. Well, you know what? The only way we'll know is if people go to it.
Exactly. The only way we know is if people go.
It's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you.
Well, if it's Friday.
New York. What?
If it's Friday, we must be talking about minute number 75 of Solo, a Star Wars story.
Mm-hmm.
Brought to you by Disney. Minute number 75 starts with DDBD calling the supervisor about the security camera going out. We didn't even discuss that part of it. And then L337 proclaiming restraining bolts.
Exactly.
I wish someone would remove my restraining bolts.
So this is the minute where Beckett goes berserk.
Yes.
She does, doesn't she?
Wait. Beckett is Woody. But
I'm sorry.
Kira also does some berserking.
Kira does a little too. That's what I was thinking.
I'm going to want to talk about that, but we'll get there.
Well, because Beckett sees he sees BBDD like kind of like calling the supervisor over, one of the mining guild guys, and I guess he just assumes that they must have been caught, because the only reason the droid would call over the supervisor is if they were being caught.
Right.
So he I like when he goes over to the two guards and he's like, "Can you hold this?" And he tosses his
right.
What's that thing called? You know, Pete.
His pike vibro staff.
Vibro staff.
What is it called?
A vibro staff.
Vibro
It's a
staff?
neck massager. It's a neck massager.
That's what it sounds like. You can't reach the middle of your back without the vibro staff.
No.
And then just starts shooting everyone and blowing the place up.
Pew, 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 pew.
Right.
Finger bang.
Doing his thing. He's doing his spinning his guns.
Yeah.
And he takes out those guys, and at the same time, that's the signal. Kira takes out what was his name? Perlite?
Quay
Perlite? Curly Stalactite, the Pike ambassador.
I love his startled reaction to because they're in the negotiating room, and then Beckett starts firing, and then the guy jumps. They show him. I don't know. It made me laugh. The way he was so startled by it. So I could relate to him. I'm someone who's easily startled, much like a Tusken Raider. I'm easily startled.
Exactly.
So.
Well, I want to talk about. Well, I'm going to have a little bit to talk about the.
All right.
Kira takes out Curly with the with Ters Ksi.
Mm-hmm.
And that was there's the levels of thing, level of reference, and you will find there's a not quite a bottom level reference, but there's a low. There's ones that very few people in the audience will get.
You're talking about something at the bottom of the iceberg of Star Wars references,
right? And it happens a lot with Marvel. You'll find the people in a Marvel MCU movie. There'll be one reference, and you'll hear the three other people in the theater that are like, ha ha, when something. It's me. That was me. When something happens on screen, that's a deep cut reference. Yeah. And so this is of course a deep cut reference to Star Wars Masters of Teräs Käsi, a fighting game released for the Sony PlayStation in October of 1997. And so this was totally the dark times where the sun was rising over the horizon. The special editions had just started to come out. The they were bringing back the action figures, everything. In '97 is all where the build to the prequels was on. There was all kinds of stuff, and this was
waiting online outside of Toys R Us. Horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish I want that time back.
But I wanted to talk about the what? What?
Go ahead.
No, what you saying?
I was going to ask Tony, when he said he wanted that time back, do you mean you want to go back to 1997 when we were all young and innocent, or do you meant you wanted back the time
No,
you wasted
I want
waiting in line?
The time waiting in line, wasting that time in line. I could have been like scoping chicks and stuff instead. That sounds like me, right?
Of course, yeah. That's how we would all spend our time.
That's what I would have been. That's what I would have been doing. I would have been on the corner during bird dogging chicks. No. I mean my time. I would love to have my time back.
Right. Although, also, I don't know. It'd be kind of nice to go back and get some of those sweet 1997 action figures.
You can still probably get them for pretty much the same price. Those episode 1.
Nah.
Well, also
the muscular one.
Yeah.
The Teräs Ksi actually debuted in 1996 in the Shadows of the Empire
yes
series. So I think in a way, I guess that kind of when did Heir to the Empire come out? I feel like Shadows of the Empire was kind of like Lucasfilm's really like, okay, let's see if we can actually pull off a multimedia marketing thing. Do you remember Shadows of the Empire, Tony? You might not have.
I remember it being no, I wasn't that. I mean, I remember it being. Was it a book?
It was.
Well, they did a book. They did comic series. They did video games. They did.
I remember seeing it as a book form.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I didn't play video games, but I think I saw it in book form. Right. I said I'd read that sometime, and then I went on to the next book that I would never read.
Heir to the Empire was 91. So
91, really?
Man, that's a long time ago.
That was a long time. That was the 91. Let's see, the sequel, Dark Force Rising, the second one, that was 92, and The Last Command, I'm assuming, was 93. But
I think that is traditionally when the dark times are considered.
Yes.
To start lifting is the release of those Zahn novels.
Right.
Yeah, we were in college.
I feel like that's more like the end of the dark times as opposed to the beginning of the new, with the official release of the toys and the special edition, and all, like it's on the upswing, starting somewhere around there. Or Dark Empire, that's also cited sometimes. That's around the same time. But yes. But yeah, Masters of Teräs Käsi. I wanted to talk about the characters and some of the other stuff in Masters of Teräs Käsi because, hey, when else are we going to get the chance to talk about this? You guys are big video game nerds. I'm sure you know all this.
Yes. Pew, pew, pew.
People hate it when we talk about the toys. Love it when we talk about the video games.
Yes.
So here's the prologue. Here's the opening crawl for Masters of Teräs Käsi. After the stunning defeat and loss of the Death Star handed to the Galactic Empire, the Emperor demands drastic measures for swift retribution against the Rebel Alliance. Emperor calls upon the services of a mysterious young woman named Arden Lin, wise in the ways of an ancient and almost forgotten fighting art known as Teräs Käsi. Under the watchful eye of Darth Vader, Arden Lin is assigned the duty of eliminating key members of the Rebel Alliance and thus neutralizing the thorn in the Empire's side. But the Alliance hears of this threat and they prepare for battle. It's a nonsense setup, but it's basically... So Arden Lin is like the character that they made up for that, basically. Right? She was a female human and a master of Teräs Käsi.
I don't like the name Arden Lin.
Arden Lin.
It sounds like a real estate agent in...
and she's appeared... I don't know if does she have any... I don't think she's canonical. I don't think she's appeared in stuff like post-up, but she appeared in a bunch of stuff at the time, or was it just in this? Appearances. Oh, Star Wars The Old Republic, mentioned in a codex entry in Star Wars Masters of Teräs Käsi, first appearance. That's it. But you could also play as Boba Fett, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Leia Organa, Chewbacca, and here are two characters that we'll get to the secret characters in a minute, but here are two. There's a Gamorrean guard named Thok that you could play as. Thok, like sock with a lisp. Thok. He was a Gamorrean guard who you could play in this. Now,
Fuck.
yeah, according to, let's see, did they make this? Did they retcon this into one of the? Yeah, they made him one of the ones from Return of the Jedi.
Of course.
And they put him in Dark Forces Special Saga, which was, I think, a comic tie into another video game or something like that. But anyway. Yeah, he was in one of the Gamorrean guards that you could fight as. And there's also the unfortunately named Hor.
Oh, that is unfortunately.
Hor is short for Kerr, who is a force-sensitive male Tusken Raider. He's also a Ters Ksi artist.
He had no self-esteem.
Now, again, this is kind of retcon, but Hor's tribe was slaughtered by Anakin Skywalker in 22 BBY. So that's and there's an unfortunately named section of this Wikipedia entry called Hor's Revenge. So,
do we know, did Hor die in that particular? You said Hor's tribe was killed. Did Hor die in that thing, or was Hor like not there at the time?
I believe he was not there. Let's see. He was born on Tatooine. Blah blah blah.
It'd be a nice bit of ring theory if Hor wasn't there at the time because he was talking to some space hermit out in the desert, and then he came back to find them all dead. And
yeah,
I was like,
Hor was the sole survivor of the carnage because he had been away bonding with his bantha at the time.
Funny. Hor's Revenge. That's what my father used to say when my grandmother moved in with us.
There was also secret characters that you could unlock, like Darth Vader. Princess Leia in her Return of the Jedi gold bikini. Stormtrooper. And then 2 EU characters that I'm sure Radke would be excited to hear about. Mara Jade and Jodo Cast. And the stages that you could where the fights could take place: the Death Star 2, Tusken Village, Hoth, Cloud City, Dagobah, Emperor's Throne Room, the Rancor Pit, or the Rancor, enclosure, Carbonite Freezing Chamber on Bespin, and the Forest Moon of Endor.
What's Arden's name again?
Arden Lynn.
Arden Lynn. She sold me a place in Tusken Village.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a two-bedroom condo in Tusken Village.
She also makes her own jam. I imagine she makes her own jam.
And you will be upset to find out that perhaps that while people liked the idea of a Star Wars fighting game and they were excited for it, it was pretty universally panned. Nobody liked it because it just the fighting.
Thumbs down.
As usual, it's like they take the concept and they cheap out on the mechanics of it. So the fighting mechanics weren't great. The fighting engine is bad. Lightsabers show up out of nowhere. Some of the characters are much more powerful than others. I think friend of the show, former guest of the show, Josh Flanagan was a big Masters of Teräs Käsi player, but we'll see. It was 1997.
So
and it was rated T for teen. So
I'm sure the graphics weren't that great either.
Oh yeah, well for the time, no.
I have some information in universe on Teräs Käsi.
Oh, please.
You'll love this, Pete. The description of it is a hand-to-hand combat technique specifically designed for fighting Jedi.
I'm sure it works.
I don't
it's
know.
weird because you think any hand-to-hand fighting style, if you're going up against someone with a laser sword, like
yeah, that sounds like it
doesn't seem like you're gonna do too well, but
yeah.
In fact, the reason Kira knows Teräs Käsi is because it was taught to her by Dryden Voss, who of course learned it firsthand from his boss Darth Maul.
I guess that makes sense.
That doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would Darth Maul be giving him people hand-to-hand combat? Like, all my capo regimes have to know how to fight Jedi, just in case.
Well, but it seems like it's like
some kind of like gang initiation.
No, like they have a separate special thing kind of. So like, you know, it's like not everybody. He doesn't teach it to everybody.
Okay.
It's special, you know, that like they have a relationship, and so he was like, hey, you know what? Let me teach you this.
Maul and Dryden Voss, or Dryden Voss and Kira?
Dryden Voss and Kira.
Okay, that makes more sense. Maul and Dryden Voss.
Oh,
that
right,
one seems
right.
more strange to me.
Right. Well, that
Like-
almost seems like an alpha thing. Like when they're you know, like when they have time to kill, they're like, you want to fight? You want to fight?
That makes sense.
They're like, hey, you never know. You might need it. You might use it at some point.
You know who else knew how to do, or at least at one point knew how to do Teräs Ksi? Your old friend Jyn Erso. Apparently, in some cut content, it was going to be revealed that Saw Gerrera taught Jyn Erso how to do the anti-Jedi hand-to-hand combat. So, to explain how she knows, I don't know. Do we see her? I don't know. Do we see her beat anyone up in the movie?
Jyn Erso? Kind of. She fights her way through some stuff, right?
I don't know.
Maybe not. I can't remember.
Huh. Anyway, and Ters Ksi is Finnish of all things. Finnish.
Uh-huh.
Are you talking about a career?
It means steel hand.
Oh, steel hand. Ah,
It's weird. You think they totally threw us a curveball there. After you think, there must be some, Asian influence there, but no, Finnish. So in Finnish, it's one word, Ters Ksi. It's not two separate words. So there you go, Ters Ksi, the hand-to-hand fighting technique.
All right.
that was a kid from my neighborhood, Teräs Ksi.
That sounds like an Italian dish to me.
Right.
Was that kid your name? Was she an Italian
Yeah,
dish?
it's Tony Ters Ksi.
Tony Teräs Ksi.
He was, always wanted to fight, that guy.
And so we get another good Beckett line here. Once they finish killing everyone, he says, "Well negotiated."
Right.
I thought was another good kind of.
Well, that did remind me of the prequels. Well, negotiations were short. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm interesting that they didn't choose to go there, but did a different thing, and I like.
Yeah. I guess they mentioned the trade routes last time. They couldn't do two direct references.
Right.
So, yeah, and Beckett, I guess, finishes killing everyone, and the droids are just kind of like, all right. They don't seem alarmed at all that there's someone now killing everyone.
It's not their problem.
Yeah, they're just like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I still have to finish this.
So do you? So in the end of the minute, the L3 goes up to DB. I think it's DB. It's also we didn't make fun of that name actually in the content of the show, but that's funny that it sounds like Twiki the robot, of course, from Buck Rogers.
Yeah, from Buck Rogers,
the most famous DDBD character.
Right.
Have you ever seen that awful clip of the time they had Twiki meeting a lady robot?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And she, instead of saying DB, she says booty. Oh my god!
Did you really?
Horrifying to watch.
That is so terrible. That even feels 70s when you hear it.
Yeah.
Female robot saying booty.
Yeah.
No, wait. Was it in yesterday's episode that we talked about that robot, or was it in between episodes?
It came up because we mentioned Warwick Davis.
We did.
And all that, so that was yesterday, but we didn't specifically make fun of the DB parts. So.
It's all a blur, the screen room and what's on air and what's off air.
Yeah. So and L3 goes up to the droid and says, "Hey, go do this thing or whatever," and the droid doesn't respond.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "Oh, you have a restraining bolt on. That's clearly why you're not responding." So, do you think the reason did the droids not call any guards or alert anyone because on some level they want to escape, and so they're just like, "I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not going to call a guard." Like the restraining bolt can stop them from doing something bad, but that doesn't necessarily mean they have to do something that will help. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like having headphones in, even if you're not listening to anything.
Yes, exactly. Like restraining bolt, like plausible deniability. Like, well, I would, but
restraining bolt. Sorry.
Sorry, look, I'm wearing one of these.
Right.
Because I guess as we learn, restraining bolts are capable of messing with the droid. Their programming.
Right. Theoretically, right? That it could, like, because the way that they're attached could be interfering with some.
Or magnets.
Yeah, magnets. How do they work?
You know, it's like putting a magnet on like a credit card or something. Because we have to assume that is true because Luke falls for it. You know, 3PO says, "Oh, his restraining bolt is messing him up. You should take the restraining bolt off." And then Luke does it, but we have to assume that Luke, who works with droids all the time, would probably know if that was really true or not. So I have to assume that it's true.
Right.
Because I assume all their droids have restraining bolts, and if this periodically happens, then...
All right. And can that interfere? Yes. You X. X gets the square. Sorry, you agreed, so I had to go to Hollywood Squares.
Okay, good.
Go ahead. I had a oh no, I didn't have a question. It was a question that I already asked. Never mind. I have an edit to make.
Yeah. Is the K, what's her name? The female robot there? K?
L337?
Oh, why did I think K for some reason? K sounds like a woman's name.
K2SO is a different one.
Oh, yeah, K2SO.
Plus, every kiss begins with K, so.
Is a technical question. Is she CGI'd? Is that all CGI'd? It flows very, like, it feels like a human wearing a robot.
The actress is on the set, and they just put CG. Like, she's basically
okay,
kind of like Jar Jar. Like, she's kind of wearing a robot suit, but like with her face sticking out, and then they just kind of digitally take
that makes sense.
Parts. And
you know, when they're doing it with King Kong, it seems more fluid and alive. But to see a robot move like a human, I'm like, that's someone in a suit. I'm like, that can't be. No one can fit in that. Unless it was Anthony Daniels.
Do you remember having strong feelings? Either this is your last day on the show, so we can ask you about anything else that's coming up. Do you remember feeling strongly? L3 seems like a somewhat. Some people don't seem to like her. Do you?
Really?
Yeah. Do you have?
No, I enjoyed her. I thought she was great. Yeah. No, she had personality. I loved it. Yeah.
Did you watch the Fleabag show?
I did watch Fleabag show. Yeah. Is she the voice?
She's the and the body.
Is that she's and the body? Oh, that's fantastic. I didn't even.
She was both the Jason Gordon-Levitt and the details of the.
That's
awesome.
Details.
Yeah, I think it looked great. She looked great. She moved. It was fun to watch her on the screen. Was it this minute when she's like, "Whoa"? Is that the moment where she's like,
right after Kira murders the Pike?
Yeah,
that was a great moment. She's like, "Whoa."
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier in the week, she kills the Pike in the end by pulling the pipes out, and then I assume the Pike suffocates.
I thought she stabbed him with keys. It's so dark and murky and moody.
Yeah, I think she stabs him with the keys in the neck.
She stabs him with the keys, and then she wipes the blood on his body.
I thought at one point she pulled his air tubes out, but maybe that was the knife that she was pulling. The movie's so murky, I can't tell what's going on.
I think she's pulling the keys out after she punches him into his throat, then pulls him out and wipes him off.
Oh, so do you think that's why they had him do that thing with her face as a kind of like, so that when she kills him, she gets to do the same thing, and now it's like one,
right.
One up.
Like, how do you like it? How do you like it? How do you like it?
Exactly.
Huh?
Yeah. Huh? Same thing she did to Solo with the dice.
The dice. Oh, so what about any of the other characters? Like, how do you feel about Alden Ehrenreich playing Han Solo? Do you think he does a good job?
I do.
You saw Hail Caesar. You saw Hail Caesar.
Yeah. I think he's a good actor. I think he played him. I think he played him pretty. You know, he stayed with the character pretty well. I liked him.
Yeah,
it was fun. It was a fun movie.
Do you agree with the people who say he should play young Indiana Jones?
Well, at this point, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, now that Armie Hammer isn't in the picture anymore, then yeah, they should use him.
Now, do you think he should play young Ali Fox from Mosquito Coast, or young? I forgot the guy's name from Witness.
Harrison Ford.
Yes, yes. He should make a new fugitive movie where someone was missing a leg in the prequel.
It's a prequel.
I want them to do a multiverse thing where all of Harrison Ford's characters all cross over into one. They form like a Justice League type crossover event.
Right. Even like Colonel Lucas from Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, totally.
Although
young Bob Falfa. That's what I would like to see.
I don't know if
Graffiti
he looks.
prequel.
I don't know if he
Pick your
looks
5
like
Harrison Ford
much.
roles that you want to see team up in a supergroup.
In a
Han
super
Solo,
group?
obviously. Indiana
Han Solo.
Jones.
I don't know. I feel like Han Solo and Indiana Jones is too. It's too much.
Really?
Too
I
much.
don't know. Could be wrong.
I feel like in that situation, Indiana Jones would be the straight man. Because Indiana Jones, I mean, he has a day job. He goes to a college and he's like has to, you know what I mean? Han Solo is relatively a loser compared to Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is a successful guy. You know what I mean? So Indiana Jones is kind of he would have to be the kind of leader, I guess. Well, I guess the president, whoever is Con Air.
Oh, right, yeah.
Or
that's got to be your
Air Force
leader.
One. I don't know why I wouldn't have him though in my group.
Yeah, I haven't even seen the movie, so.
Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, Bob Falfa.
Wait, Harrison Ford. You mean Han Solo?
Han Solo. I'm trying to think if I want Blade Runner. Blade Runner.
No.
See,
regarding Henry, regarding Henry, when he gets shot in the head, and
there you go.
You have to come right back. You
got Henry, young Henry from Regarding Henry.
Young. He plays young Henry.
Right.
We're constantly making jokes about, oh my goodness, this is worse than getting a hole in your head.
Dr. Frantic from Frantic.
Dr. Frantic. That's a great super villain name.
Dr. Frantic.
And Branch Rickey from 42.
There you go. Cowboy versus Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Was he in those? Are they Expendables? Is that what those movies are, where they get 1,000 different action heroes together? Is he in those?
He did pop up in Expendables 3.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. Which I have not seen Expendables 3, but Expendables 1 and 2 were delightful.
Oh, you saw those? Huh.
I saw them in the theater, I believe, both.
Wow.
Because they totally know that they're dumb.
Yeah, you're going to assemble a movie with all those people in it and convince yourself you're making art.
Yeah, I know. And they're not like Expendables 2 is literally they are digging up the Cold War because there's some kind of old Russian base from the Cold War that's underground that they're excavating.
Yeah.
And Jean-Claude Van Damme plays the villain and his name is Villain.
Oh.
They're digging up the Cold War to have this thing, and the villain's name is Villain, and they're just like, no, why bother trying to dress it up even further? You just know what you want out of this, and it was exactly what I wanted out of both of them. I haven't seen the third one. I did not hear good things, but I would like to check it out anyway.
A Russian supervillain, come on.
Who? I know it's stretching credulity.
A little dated, but
anyway.
Anything else for minute number 75? Still alive in 75.
No.
Anything else about this movie? Or Tony, did you have you seen Rise of Skywalker, the last one?
I did see Rise of Skywalker. Yeah.
So
it's the artsy Star Wars movie for me.
No, that's The Last Jedi, probably.
Oh, okay. I remember.
Rise of Skywalker.
Right. You're right.
Rise of Skywalker is the fartsy one.
Much like
it's
the Expendables.
fartsy one. You're right. I'm mixing artsy with fartsy. You're right. It's the fartsy one.
Rise of Skywalker, much like the Expendables, it's something I enjoy quite a bit, but nobody's calling it art.
Yeah, I've definitely seen it. Yes.
All right. So we might call on you for that. Yeah. Radkey has already opted out. So.
Yeah.
Oh. You mean opted out? Isn't that next season though?
Yeah, next year. But he's.
Well, I mean, between then and now, are you guys going to leave me in here, or can I go? I mean, can I leave after today? I'm sure I can open. I can open my schedule.
We put the schedule. We gave it to the droids. The droids are in charge of scheduling, so they should have.
That metal.
I don't know what I don't know what to listen for. Should I listen for boop beep beep boop, or should I listen for beep 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 beep? I don't know.
Booty, 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 booty.
All right, well, I'll wait. I'll wait.
metal thing on your back is a restraining bolt, Tony. So you're kind of stuck here for the duration.
Ah. Isn't it a placebo? I'm just going to try to get out anyway.
You got chicks to bird dog out there.
I got. Who's going to be? What am I going to stand around here when I can be dog bird? No, dirt. I can't say it. Bird dog. I could be Dirk Bergen.
Well, thanks for joining us all week, Tony. We're glad you could be here. People should go to StarWarsMinute.com/Toko. Check out your merch.
Yes, my stuff. It's there.
Hey, check out his stuff.
In theory, it's there.
In theory. Only you, dear listener, will be able to tell us if it's there or not. So let us know in the comments if the link works so we can know if we can edit it out or not. For those of you watching the video, did you know you can also watch us on video for our weekend show? Become a Patreon. Go to StarWarsMinute.com/Patreon, and at least the past bunch of months worth of shows and stuff, we've also had a video version of the show, so you can check that out. You can see what's behind this curtain over here. I don't put the curtain up in the weekend.
Very nice.
Pay no attention to the curtain behind the man.
Is it a mirror? A painting of myself that gets older and older as I remain youthful and trim?
Now
is it a brand new car?
The best would be if you pulled back the curtain right now and it was the podcasting cage with Tony in it.
With my back to you, so I have no idea. Yeah. Come on, guys. I've been in here a long time.
All right, so go do that. StarWarsMinute.com/Patreon.
I didn't do that on purpose.
And we'll see you on Monday with another brand new Star
Wars Minute.
Oh,